Okay. Well, good afternoon. Welcome you to the Cox Softball Complex on the campus of Central Methodist University. Well, today it's Central Methodist Softball taking on the University of St. Mary's. The birthday boy, Quentin Norris, here with the play-by-play. Central Methodist 15-2. St. Mary is 11-9 on the year. This past Friday, Central Methodist swept the doubleheader with Wayne's Baptist, winning the first game 6-2 and the second game 10-1 there. For St. Mary's, yesterday they split a doubleheader with Park. They won the first game 9-1, but lost game number 2, 3-1 there as well. If you look at the numbers there, for Central Methodist, leading the way in hitting is Carly Robbins, 444 average, no homers, 3 RBIs. For St. Mary's, that's Alexis McDaniel, 418 average, 7 homers, 23 RBIs. For pitching-wise for Central Methodist, that's Haley Cotter, 2-2, 1.57 ERA. 5 walks, 18 strikeouts. And, of course, she'll be starting game number 1 there, while Allie Cox is 4-1, 6.15 ERA, 3 walks and 6 walks and 15 strikeouts on the year there. Of course, upcoming sports events. Of course, I know this is spring break, but I know baseball in about 15 minutes or so, they'll be taking on William Penn games 3 and 4 of the doubleheader. They split with William Penn yesterday. They lost the first game 8-1, but came back to win game 2, 13-1 there. So Central Methodist baseball, they're 16-4, 5-1 in the conference there. So their next game for that, it'll be a 3-gamer, a doubleheader on Friday against Waldorf at 1. And then it'll be a 9-inning game on this coming Saturday. Of course, softball, they'll be on the road to Nevada, take on Cotty at 1 o'clock. Then their next game after that is for 10 more days. They begin conference play, taking on Clark. Doubleheader starts at 1 o'clock, second game at 3 p.m. as well. Just a beautiful day there, about 52 degrees on Dodger blue skies overlooking the Cox Softball Complex. And we'll go ahead and give you the starting lineups there, sponsored by Hy-Vee. Leading off and playing left field is Audrey Spellman. Batting second is their center fielder, Alexis McDaniel. Batting in the number 3 spot is their shortstop, Jessica Strunlund. Batting fourth is their catcher, Allison Diaz. Batting fifth is their right fielder, Sadie McWilliams. Batting in the number 6 spot is their first baseman, Alexis Hughes. Batting in the number 7 spot, the designated player, Ava Vanderwit. Batting in the 8th spot is their second baseman, Gianna Pape. Batting 9th, and pitcher, Desiree Chavez. So it's Spellman, McDaniel, Strunlund, Diaz, McWilliams, Hughes, Vanderwit, Pape, Chavez, with Chavez today's starting pitcher. For Central Methodist, leading off and playing center field is Kalina Oots. Batting second is their left fielder, Casey Jolly. Batting third, their first baseman, Elizabeth Palumbo. Batting fourth, their third baseman, Joe Kreider. Batting fifth, their shortstop, Madison Roberts. Batting in the number 6 spot is their second baseman, Madison White. Batting seventh, their catcher, Lauren Hill. Batting eighth, the designated player, Raylene Tanner. Batting ninth is the right fielder, Carly Robbins. Today's starting pitcher is Haley Cotter. So it's Oots, Jolly, Palumbo, Kreider, Roberts, White, Hill, Tanner, Robbins, with Haley Cotter pitching. Of course, today's umpires. It's sponsored by Lee's Tire Company. Behind the plate there is Larry Barnett. Out in the field there is Hunter Wendelstead. And you see both coaches meeting at home plate there. Go over the ground rules and take care of a few things there along the way. Just a beautiful day there, of course. Thank you very much. See, one of the fans has already, I think that's Brian Hill, is wishing me a happy birthday already. I probably had at least about 300 people have has sent me messages wishing me a happy birthday. So, so it's been a lot of fun there on this March the 10th. So hopefully in a few more minutes there, I think Tim Crowley will announce today's starting lineups. And there you see the coaches for Central Methodist: Pat Reardon, assisted by Gene Reardon, Addie Reardon, Morgan Wilson, and Madison Sicardo. For St. Mary, that's Kaylee Reimer Swan. So we're about ready to get going there, and of course Central Methodist softball, they are ranked number 4 in the nation. They're 15-2 on the year. So now the umpires, both coaches head out to the dugouts. So we're about ready to get started there. First, we had the prayer, the national anthem, and now we're getting ready to set the defense for you. Sponsored by Dairy Queen out in left field. Casey Jolly out in center field. Kalina Ooch in right field. Carly Robbins at third base. It's Joe Kreider. Shortstop, Madison Roberts. Second baseman, Madison White. First baseman, Elizabeth Palumbo. The catcher, Lauren Hill. And there's Haley Cotter on the mound. 2-2 with a 1.57 ERA. 5 walks, 18 strikeouts from Smithville, Missouri. Great day there for softball. Scheduled for 1, but I have a feeling we may start early, which that's okay. Haley Cotter getting some warm-up tosses. Central Methodist, they are 15-2, 11-9 for St. Mary. Lauren Hill fires it down to second. Getting ready to lead off for St. Mary is Audrey Spellman. So that's about the softball infield gathering themselves. Just having a little team chat. Same thing with the outfielder. Audrey Spellman. 410 hitter, no homers, 9 RBIs from Bay Shore, Kansas. Haley Cotter delivered the first pitch. And that is a ball. Came at 12:56 p.m. Temperature at 53 degrees. The time and temperature sponsored by the Parking Spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The Parking Spot at Kansas City International Airport. The 1-0 pitch. A swing and a miss. Strike one. 1-1 now on Audrey Spellman. 1-1 to count. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Nice pitch there, says by home plate umpire Larry Barnett. It's 1-2 the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Nice job of framing it by Lauren Hill, as Joe Garziola likes to say it on NBC television. 2-2 the count. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Hits the ground ball to Madison Roberts. Throws over to Palumbo. Not in time. And I have a feeling that's going to be an error on Palumbo. There's Alexis McDaniel. 418. There's 7 overs. 23 hours. What did they count that? Was that error? Okay. Oh, there's a strike call on the outside corner. 0-1 now on Alexis McDaniel. Spellman's at first. I believe on the error by Palumbo. Here's the 0-1. Round ball foul. 0-2. 0-2 the count. It is an error. I believe that will be on Palumbo. 0-2 the count. The 0-2 misses that one outside. 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Alexis McDaniel from Wellsville, Kansas. 1-2 pitch. 2-2 the count. Haley Cotter just needs to settle down, talk to the softball. Two pitch. Oh, nice job. Strike 3 on the inside corner. That's the old Dwight Gooden curveball. One of those 12-6 varieties. Here's Jessica Stranlin, 203 hitter, no homers, 10 RBIs from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, right in the area of Vancouver, home of the Vancouver Canucks. They're still in the hunt for the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's a ball, 1-0 the count there. 1 ball, no strikes, the 1-0. Outside, 2-0 to count there. 2-0 to count on Jessica Strunlund. Spellman's at first on the error. 2-0 pitch. Now it's 3-0 to count. Yep, 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Here's your 3-0. There's a strike on the inside corner. 3-1 now. 3 balls and 1 strike. Quentin Norris, the birthday boy, sitting in the catbird seat. 3-1. It's the ground ball. They'll go to second. Actually, she'll take the first. Takes the sure out at first, so 2 outs now for Allison Diaz. 245 hitter, no homers, 6 RBIs from Santa Maria, California. Of course, St. Mary is a member of the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference. Spellman's at second with 2 outs. First pitch to her. There's a strike, 0-1 now. On deck is Sadie McWilliams. 0-1 to count. Here's the 0-1. It's the ground ball for Madison White. Those are the Palumbo for the 3rd out. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 1st inning. It is no score, but Central Methodist will be coming to bat. And we'll go ahead and set the defense for you for St. Mary. It is sponsored by the Commerce Bank of Beverly Hills. Audrey Spellman's in left field. Alexis McDaniels in center field. Sadie McWilliams in right. Down at 3rd base. Alexis Hughes at 2nd base. Actually, Natalie Bruce is at 3rd base. At shortstop is Jessica Strunlund. 2nd baseman Gianna Pape. 1st baseman Alexis Hughes. Behind the plate, it is Allison Diaz. And there you see today's starting pitcher for St. Mary, Desiree Chavez. 3-1 on the air. 8 walks, 14 strikeouts there. Chavez is from Los Ranchos, New Mexico. So after an error, but they got 3 consecutive outs there. Throws it down to second. As Kalina Oots will be the batter up there. Kalina is a .368 hitter, no homers, 4 RBIs from Kansas City. Kalina Oots. They're trying to make sure everyone's back in the dugout there. There you see Madison Sakaro. Tries to... Oh, now they're trying to get everything out of the way, and now Kalina Oots will be the batter. Kansas City went to Staley High School. First pitch. Oh, ball 1 there. 1-0 to count with Casey Jolly on deck. One and 0 to count on Kalina Oots. The 1-0. Ball 2. 2-0 to count there. 2-0 to count on Kalina Oots. Two balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. 2-1 now. 2 balls and 1 strike on Kalina Oots. left-handed hitter up there. Infield in at the corners, anticipating the punt. Slaps it to the shortstop, and he makes the catch for out number 1 there. That brings up Casey Jolly up there. 418 hitter, 3 homers, 13 RBIs, and of course her mom, Teresa, sent me a message wishing me a happy birthday. So Teresa, if you're listening in, I want to tell you hi there. Thank you so much for wishing me a happy birthday. Of course, 30 years ago today, Central Methodist men played an opening round game against Lynn College of Florida in Nampa. First pitch. And that's a ball there, 1-0 to count. On deck is Elizabeth Palumbo. 1-0 to count. They're playing her toward left. The 1-0. Ooh, chin music. 2-0 to count there. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 to count on Casey Jolly. 2-0. It's a little fly ball in the right field. Going back is the right fielder, and it's off the wall. Jolly. Actually, it's a home run. How about that? How about a way to start your birthday off with a home run by Casey Jolly? And for Casey Jolly, that's her 4th of the year. RBI number 14 leads the team in home runs, and Central Methodist leads 1-0. I'm sure her mom, Teresa, is very happy about it. There's Elizabeth Palumbo. 414, no homers, 18 RBIs from Sterling, Illinois. And a 1-0 lead there. What a way to start your birthday off there, Quentin. With a home run. 1-0 to count on Palumbo. Where's number 23? Like another famous 23. Don Mattingly. 2-0 to count there. With Joe Krieger on deck. 2-0 to count. 2-0 pitch. Oh, that's ball 3 there. Joe Krieger's on deck. 3-0 to count. Baseball should be getting started down in Oskaloosa, Iowa. Games 3 and 4 of the series. William Penn won the first one, 8-1. Central Methodist won the second one, 13-1. 3-0 pitch. That's ball 4 on Palumbo. Here's Joe Kreider. 413 hitter, 3 homers, 15 RBIs. Came in there tied for the team lead home run. But Jolly hit the home run. That was her 4th of the year. Kreider hit a big 2-run homer in game number 2 against Williams Baptist. 1 out now. The pitch. Strike. 0-1 now on Joe Kreider. 0-1 to count. Oh, 1 pitch. Ball 1. 1-1 to count. Wide out in the bottom of the first as Lutz popped the short. Jolly hit a home run into right center field. Palumbo walked on 4 pitches. 1-1 to count on Joe Kreider. The 1-1. That gets away from there, and Palumbo will take second. That's a wild pitch, no question about it. Two and 1 to count. And it's ball 4 there. So now time call for. Madison Roberts, 327 hitter, no homers, 11 RBIs from the town of Elkhart, Illinois, around the Chicago area. Palumbo's at second, Kreider's at first. The first pitch. There's a ball outside, 1-0 to count. One to know the count. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 now on Madison Roberts. 1-0 lead for Central Methodist on the home run by Casey Jolly. 1-1 to count. The 1-1 hits the ground ball to the second baseman. Her only play is the first for out number 2. So now at third is Palumbo. At second is Kreider for Madison White. 327 in a homer and 12 RBIs. Went to Rockbridge High School. Of course, her mom is Taryn. I'm sure she is listening in on the broadcast. Unless she's sitting out in the outfield area. We saw one of Madison White's dogs earlier. Base hit could bring you 2. There's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Her aunt is Tristy. Her grandmother is Joyce Ginner. Lauren Hill's on deck. Oh, 1 to count on Madison White. Second and third, 2 outs. There's a strike on the outside corner, 0-2 now. 0-2 now on Madison White. Palumbo at third, Kreider's at second. Fouls it off there. That's a good job of protecting the plate. At least it's not the type of foul ball Bernie Carbo had before the 3-run homer in Game 6 of the 1975 World Series. Oh, 1-2 the count. Here's the 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Lauren Hill on deck. 1-2 the count. Second and third. 1-2. Fouls it back off. Boy, you could just barely hear it tipping the bat. One and two the count. 1-2. It's a liner. There's a base hit. Palumbo score. Here comes Kreider. Save! A 2-run single. 3-0 Central Methodist. So it's a single, 2 RBIs. Take second on the throw. And for Madison White, that's number 14. Palumbo leads the team in RBIs with 18. Here's Lauren Hill at the batter. 435 hitter, 1 homer, 12 RBIs. Of course, her dad, Brian, went to school at Central in the late 80s, played baseball. He even wished me a happy birthday from the grandstand to the press box. So 2 hits for Central Methodist. White single, took second on the throw home. And a quick 3-0 lead there. That is a ball outside to Lauren Hill. She was one of several that wished me a happy birthday earlier when I arrived here around 11:20. The The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lauren Hill. One pitch, swing and a miss. 1-2 now. Of course, Central Methodist led 1-0. J.C. Jolly hit a home run. Then the 2 RBI single by Madison White took second on the throw that scored Palumbo and Kreider to make it 3-0 on 2 hits. The 1-2 hits a little pop up there. I think third baseman will call for it for the third out. So 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 1. We're through 1. Central Methodist 3, St. Mary nothing.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Runs, 2 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, no errors for St. Mary. As Sadie McWilliams, the batter. 345 hitter, no homers, 4 RBIs. She is from a town of Bayshore, Kansas. Even though the scoreboard says 1, it should be 2. First pitch from Haley Cotter to Sadie McWilliams. Here it is. That's a ball, 1-0 to count. Alexis Hughes on deck. The 1-0. That's outside, 2-0 to count. 2 balls and no strikes on Sadie McWilliams. St. Mary in the gold uniform. Looks like Navy trim. Navy numerals. The 2-0. There's a strike call. 2-1 now. Central Methodist in the white uniform. Green trim. Green numerals. Birds on the bats. The birds are on the bats there. 2-1 to count. On Sadie McWilliams. 2-1 pitch. There's a strike. You can hear the umpire, Larry Barnett, said strike 2. 2-2 to count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 1 down now. She has retired 4 in a row. Here's Alexis Hughes, a 180 hitter, no homers, 1 RBI from Odessa, Missouri. That's between Marshall and Lexington on Highway 131. There used to be an outlet mall in Odessa for several years ago. I remember you could see that on I-70 heading toward Blue Springs. 1 ball, no strikes, the 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 now. 1-1 to count. One ball, 1 strike. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Alexis Hughes. The 1-2. Ground ball to Roberts. To Palumbo. 2 quick outs there. Better throw than it was in that first inning. No question about it. Here's Ava Vanderwitt. 143 hitter, no homers, 1 RBI from Monmouth, Colorado, around the Boulder area. The most famous TV show, Mork and Mindy. They had a gentleman named Robin Williams who came from a planet called Ork. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 now. A swing and a miss. 0-2 now. Could we have a 1-2-3 inning? One ball, no balls, 2 strikes. Oh, outside, 1-2 now. Just to increase the tension. Or as Ben Scully would say, that is called a showcase pitch. 1-2 the count. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A 1-2-3 inning. Go St. Mary's. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It is 3-0 Central Methodist. The birthday boy. Oh, okay. 3 runs, 2 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, no errors for St. Mary. The birthday boy, Quentin Norris from the catbird seat. As Raylene Tanner up the back. She is 3 for 10. No homers, 4 RBI. All of them came in game number 2 on Friday against Williams Baptist. Including a big 3-run double, part of that 8-run 4th inning. She's from Smithville, like Haley Cotter. Strike 1, 0-1 now. Carly Robbins is on deck. The team's hitter leads the team in hitting at in batting average at 444. 0-1. Swing and a miss. I think she was about ready to go for home run number 1, but instead it's 0-2. 3-0 Central Methodist. All came in the first inning. Home run by Jolly and a 2 RBI single by White. Ball 1-1. 1-2 the count. That's Addison Reardon coaching at first. Pat Reardon coaching at third. Quentin Norris, the birthday boy. As Ben Scully would say, let's pull up a chair then for some Central Methodist softball. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 1 out now for Carly Robbins, a 444 hitter. No homers, 3 RBIs. From San Diego, one of my favorite athletes came from San Diego. The great Tony Gwynn, who had the sweetest swing in baseball. Of course, 40 years ago, San Diego Padres won their first pennant in a 5-gamer over the Chicago Cubs in the National League Championship Series. And, of course, the big moment there was when Tim Flannery hit a ground ball that went through the legs of Leon Durham. And then Tony Gwynn hit a line drive single that went over the head of Brian Sandberg. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0. Lines it to the shortstop dropped it. That would be an error on the shortstop. No question about it. She should have had that one. That was an easy liner. Here's Kalina Oots. She popped the short his first time up. Boy, she should have had that one easily. And it just nicked the glove there. Oots popped the short his first time up. 3-0 Central Methodist in the first pitch. Oots lays down a bunt. They throw over there, and back goes Carly Robbins. 0-1 the count on Kalina Oots. Robbins at first on the error. If she can hit a double down the right field line, that could score Carly Robbins. The 1-0. Now they throw over there, and back goes Carly Robbins, and the count is 1-1. Casey Jolly on deck. Of course, Jolly hit a big home run in that first inning. That gave Central Methodist that lead. The 1-1 is a ground ball at the middle. Nice stop there, and that'd be a base hit all the way. Good job by the shortstop, keeping it in front from going to the outfield. So now first and second now for Casey Jolly. Hit a home run her first time up. Well, like I said, her mom wished me a happy birthday earlier today. You wonder if maybe Teresa sent the message to Casey saying, you know, today is Quentin Norris's birthday. Hit a home run for Quentin. And I wonder if that was the plan from her mother. 0-1 the count there on Casey Jolly. Robbins is at second. Oots at first. 0-1 the count. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. You wonder that was the message sent to Casey Jolly from her mom, Teresa. Say, hey, it's Quentin Norris's birthday. Hit a home run for Quentin. Elizabeth Palumbo on deck. The 0-2. Outside, 1-2. 1-2 now on Casey Jolly. 1-2 the count, 1-2. Ball 2, 2-2 the count. Elizabeth Palumbo on deck. One and two, 2-2 the count. 2-2 to Casey Jolly. Strike 3 call on the outside corner, so 2 outs now. For Elizabeth Palumbo. She drew a walk her first time up. Leads the team in RBIs with 18. 3-0 Central Methodist. All came in the first inning. Robbins at second. She reached on an error. Oots singled. And the pitch to her. That's a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 now. 0-1 now on Elizabeth Palumbo. The 0-1. Oh, ball 1. 1-1 to Elizabeth Palumbo. 1-1 on Elizabeth Palumbo. Where's number 23? Like Don Mattingly. 1-1 to count. 1-1. Hits a liner in the right field. Right fielder makes the catch there for the third out. So no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, at 2 left on. We head to the top of the third. Central Methodist 3, St. Mary's nothing on the Heart Conference Network. runs, 3 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, and error for St. Mary's. As Gianna Pape up there. 217 hitter, no homers, 2 RBIs from San Diego. Of course, like I said earlier, of course, the most famous one, my favorite one, is Tony Gwynn. The other one that used to play for the Padres, began his career there, was a guy named Dave Winfield. Of course, later went to the Yankees back in 1981. First pitch. That's a ball, 1-0 to count there. And the first time he was interested in the Yankees was one time when Dave Winfield visited New York City on a free agent tour, including a stop in Flushing to see the New York Mets. And when he was in the downtown area of New York, one of Dave Winfield's fans hit a light pole, and he had to help a fan in downtown New York, and that's how come he ended up with the Yankees. 2-1 to count there. 2 balls and a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 pitch. It's a little cue shot to Madison White. To Elizabeth Palumbo. 1 out now. And now here's Natalie Bruce. 229 hitter, no homers, 11 RBIs. Natalie Bruce is from Lee Summit in the suburbs of Kansas City. One of my good friends, his daughter named Mandy Marsh. Of course, I remember his dad's name was Charlie Guthrie. 0-1 to count. Audrey Spellman is on deck. The 0-1. Strike. Looks like 0-2 the count there on Natalie Bruce. The 0-2. Chops it, fouls. Still 0-2. Oh and 2 to count on Natalie Bruce. Haley Cotter in the sign from Lauren Hill. Here's the 0-2. Missed. 1-2. 3-0. Central Methodist. All came in the first inning. Casey Jolly's home run. Then Madison White's 2 RBI single. Went to second on the throw. Cotter's got it set. The 1-2. A fly ball. Robbins is there for out number 2. So 2 outs now for Audrey Spellman. She reached on error her first time up. And that was when Madison Roberts threw the ball to Elizabeth Palumbo, but Palumbo was pulled off the bag. There's the pitch. Ball 1, 1-0 to count. One and 0 to count to Audrey Spellman. The 1-0. Fouls it off. 1-1. At least we have better weather than it was Friday. Friday was more of an overcast day. It felt like I was at Comiskey Park. 1-1 to count. The 1-1. Slices out one foul. 1-2 now. 1-2 to count there on Audrey Spellman. Of course, 4 weeks from now, the first Sunday night baseball game. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Beginning with baseball tonight at 5 p.m. 1-2 pitch. Fly ball. Oots. Makes the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning. Goes St. Mary's. We head to the bottom of the third. 3-0 Central Methodist on the Art Conference Network. You haven't heard of how baseball's doing, Caitlin? Okay. Oh, sure. Go ahead, Dad. No problem. I'm not in any hurry. I just like to. Three runs, 3 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, and an error for St. Mary. Wouldn't it be sweet? We have a no hitter on my birthday. As Joe. Okay, 0-0 tie, bottom of the third inning as Joe Kreider up there drew a walk her first time up. First of two today. Kreider from Eagle, Idaho. Ball one there, 1-0 the count with Madison Roberts on deck. Pitch. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 now. 3-0 Central Methodist in the bottom of the third inning. 1-1 the count to Joe Kreider. The 1-1. It's a high fly ball to right field. Right fielder has some room and makes the catch for out number one. You might say she might have hit it off the end of the bat. Here's Madison Roberts. She grounded out the second, her first time up. The first pitch. There's a strike, 0-1 now. 0-1 now on Madison Roberts. No balls and 1 strikes on Roberts, the 0-1. That's a bit high, 1-1 now. Madison White on deck. Bottom of the third, Central Methodist Baseball and William Penn are 0-0. 1-1 to count. The 1-1. Oh, outside, 2-1 now. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 now on Madison Roberts. Two-one. Oh, and there's 3-1 now. 3 balls and a strike. Three and one now on Madison Roberts. 3-1. It's the ground ball to the shortstop. Gets by there for a base hit. The 4th hit of the game for Central Methodist. Here's Madison White. Had an RBI single that scored Palumbo and Kreider. And then took second on the throw. 4 hits now for Central Methodist. Of course, these two teams, this was originally scheduled for this past Thursday, but because of all that rain, they moved it to my birthday. Roberts is at first. The pitch. And a strike. 0-1 now. 0-1 now on Madison White. Lauren Hill on deck. 0-1 now. They throw over there, and back goes Roberts. 1-1 the count there on Madison White. One and one on White. Roberts at first on the single. The 1-1. It's the ground ball. Third baseman has it. It'll go to second, and that's all they can get. It's just a fielder's choice, so 2 outs. Here's Lauren Hill. She popped out the third her first time up. Lauren Hill up there. White's at first. In the pitch to her. Ball 1-0 from California, Missouri. Game 2 to follow. 1 ball, no strike. 3-0 lead for Central Methodist. The 1-0. It's a liner in the center field. That's a base hit. White stumbles and will head to third on a single there. 5 hits now for Central Methodist. Here's Raylene Tanner. She struck out her first time up. Raylene Tanner struck out. Like Haley Cotter, she's from Smithville. White's at third. Hill's at first. Robbins on deck. Swing and a miss. You wonder if they may pull the old double steal trick like the Cardinals did to the Yankees in Game 7 of the 1964 World Series when Tim McCarver stole home. 0-1 to count. 0-1 pitch. That kind of gets, that's a foul ball. It looked like they could have scored Madison White, but the umpire says, no, it's a foul ball. 0-2. They're checking to make sure the ball was not scuffed, and now they're going to put it into a bucket of water and clean it off with a towel. First and third. 0-2. The 0-2. Outside. 1-2 now. That's a good eye there by Raylene Tanner. 4 RBIs. All of them came in the second game against Williams Baptist. Going the sac fly in the second and a 3-run double in the 4th inning. Part of that 8-run 4th inning. 1-2 the count. 2 outs, the 1-2. There's a base hit there. White's gonna score. Hill stops at second. 4-0 Central Methodist. For Raylene Tanner, that's number 5 on the year. And she is 5 for 12 on the season. Six hits already. Here's Carly Robbins. She reached on error her first time when the shortstop dropped the ball on a liner. Hill's at second. Tanner's at first, and a strike call. 0-1 now. Kalina Oots is on deck. Oh and 1 to count. The 0-1 now. Here it is. Outside, 1-1. 1 ball and a strike. On Carly Robbins. Kalina Oots on deck. 4-0 lead for Central Methodist. The 1-1. Outside. 2-1 now. 2 balls and a strike on Carly Robbins. Kalina Oots on deck. Time called. 2-1 now on Carly Robbins. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball. Hits it off the shortstop there. Hill is rounding third. She scores. 5-0 Central Methodist. Tanner stops to say that'll be a base hit all the way there. No question about it. That was a wicked liner. And for Carly Robbins, number 4 on the air. And here's Kalina Oots, 1 for 2. 5-0 Central Methodist. On 4 hits. First pitch. Tries the bunt, and that's a foul ball. Strike 1. Tanner's at second with the RBI single. Robbins at first with the single. 7 hits already for Central Methodist as the birthday boy, Quentin Norris, calls it from the Cox Softball Complex. The 0-1 now. And that's strike 2. 0-2 now on Kalina Oots. And 2, the count to Kalina Oots. The 0-2 fouls it off. And 2, the count to Kalina Oots. Two hits the ground ball. Shortstop has it, throws over the first for the third out. But Central Methodist gets 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and they leave 2. We head to the 4th inning. Central Methodist 5, St. Mary nothing.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage.
5 runs, 7 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, and an error for St. Mary. Here's Alexis McDaniel, struck out her first time up. Top of the 4th inning. Haley Cotter on the mound. The first pitch. That's a strike call. 0-1 now. No balls and 1 strike. Ever since the error, she has retired 9 in a row. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1. 1-1 to count on Alexis McDaniel. The 1-1. Chopper to Joe Kreider. Throws over to Elizabeth Palumbo and makes the play. Out number 1. Here's Jessica Strandlund. Rounded out to Madison White, her first time up. That's the only base runner we've had when Audrey Spellman reached on an error. Went to second. And that's all they've had. Here's the first pitch. A swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 the count. Cox Softball Complex shivering with its concrete foundations. The 0-1. That's a ball. 1-1 now. 1-1 the count. The 1-1. That's a strike. 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jessica Strandlund. The 1-2 chops it foul just to increase the tension. 1-2 the count. One, two. Fouls it to the screen. 1-2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes on Jessica Strunlund. 1-2. Strike 3 call. 2 outs now. There's Allison Diaz. She grounded out to Madison White. First pitch. Strike 1. 0-1 now. And 1 the count to Allison Diaz. The 0-1. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Cotter regroups. 0-2 the count to Allison Diaz. Here's the 0-2. Strike 3 called. Another 1-2-3 inning. We're halfway home. 5-0 Central Methodist. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we could be seeing history. Five runs, 7 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, and error for St. Mary. As Casey Jolly up to 1 for 2 with a homer. That came in the first inning. That gave Central Methodist the 1-0 lead there. Jolly has 4 homers, 14 RBIs on the year. Bottom of the 4th inning, 5-0 Central Methodist. We could be seeing some history being made. First pitch. It's a high fly ball in the center field. Center field goes back. It's gone! Her second of the day. And it's 6-0 Central Methodist. Her 5th of the year, RBI number 15 there. That's how you celebrate Quentin Norris's birthday. Get 2 home runs there, buddy. 6-0 Central Methodist. There's Elizabeth Palumbo, 0 for 1 with a walk. She flew out the right her second time in the second inning. 6-0 now, and it's a ball. Even though they said scoreboard said 3 in the third, but it should be 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Here's the 1-0 is a high fly ball on the center fielder. That is over the center fielder's head. Palumbo's thinking too. Here's the throw, not in time. It's a double for Elizabeth Palumbo. 9 hits for Central Methodist. There's Joe Kreider, 0 for 1. Walked and flew out the right. Now it looks like time call there. They're trying to get the scoreboard straightened out there. So we no runs for St. Mary. Even though the scoreboard said 1, but it should be 0. 2 in the third, and then 1 more thanks to Jolly's home run. Looks like a new pitcher on the mound. This call to bullpen is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Looks like Grace Rose is the pitcher. 2-1, 5 walks, 14 strikeouts from Bayshore, Kansas. So Palumbo is at second, getting some instructions from Pat Reardon. Actually, it's a triple. So runner at third, and the pitch to Kreider. That's a strike, 0-1. So Palumbo's at third with the triple. And the count is 0-1 now on Joe Kreider. That's high, 1-1 now. 9 hits for Central Methodist. Palumbo's at third with a triple. Jolly started off with a home run. Her second of the day, RBI number 5 and 15. There's a high fly ball to left field and fouled. 1-2 the count. On Joe Kreider. One and two the count. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. 2-2. 2-2. Palumbo's at third with the triple. Nobody out. 2-2. It's a high fly ball in the right field. That is caught. Palumbo tagging up and will score on the sac fly. Playing a little small ball there. And for Joe Kreider, that's 16 RBIs on the year. And a 7-0 lead for Central Methodist. Here's Madison Roberts, 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch to Roberts. It's a ball. So 7-0 Central Methodist. The 1-0. hits the ground ball to the first baseman. She'll take it herself for out number 2. So 2 outs now for Madison White. 1 for 2 with a single and 2 RBIs. First pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Madison White. Lauren Hill on deck. The 0-1. 1-1 to count. Lauren Hill on deck. One and one to count to Madison White. Fouls it off. 1-2. Wants a new softball there. One-two pitch. High fly ball in the right field. That's heading toward the Central Methodist bullpen. And it's still 1-2. Now wants a new. 1-2 to Madison White. 7-0 Central Methodist. The 1-2. High pop-up. That may. Third baseman calls for it, and there's the third out. So 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. No one let on. We head to the 5th. Central Methodist 7. And St. Mary nothing.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Haven't turned it on. Let me, you want to put my code in, Rachel, real quick? Yeah, that's fine. I just hadn't had a chance to turn it on. Seven runs, 9 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, a hit, and error for St. Mary. Here's Sadie McWilliams. She struck out her first time up. Could we see history today? The last no-hitter by Central Methodist pitcher Jordan Ball did against McPherson on February the 9th. Yeah, please. Could we see that today? Wouldn't that be a way to celebrate Quentin Norris's birthday? And it's 0-2 now. Would it make it easier if all we have to do is get at least a run in the 5th inning to make it an 8-run rule? 0-2 to count. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. Some of the most no-hitters. Don Larson pitched a perfect game against the Dodgers and back in Game 5 of the 1956 World Series. 40 years ago on April the 7th, Jack Morris threw a no-hitter against the Chicago White Sox on NBC television. And there's a base hit by Alexis Hughes. There's the first hit of the game, the second base runner there. Ava Vanderwitt, who struck out her first time up. First pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. 0-1 the count. Okay. No problem. 0-1 now. That's a ball. 1-1. Let's see how. 1-1 now on Ava Vanderwitt. The 0-1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. One and two. 1-2. Strike three. Two quick outs now. 2 outs now for Gianna Poppy, who grounded out to second her first time. 1, 2, 3. Grounded out to Madison White her first time up. First pitch, it's a ground ball to Madison Roberts to Palumbo. So no runs on one hit, no errors, one left. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Central Methodist 7 and St. Mary none. Oh, that's good. You know what happened when it was there, Rachel? How you doing, Christian? How you doing? Not too bad. Oh, thank you very much. Well, thank you. 49. Isabella Smith, the new pitcher on the mound. As Lauren Hill up there, 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch. That's outside 1-0 there. I've heard. 7 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error for Central Methodist. No runs, 1 hit, and error for St. Mary. 1-0 the count. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. Actually, Grace Rose is still pitching. It's like 1-1 to count. The 1-1 outside. That's Isabella Smith, the new catcher. That was close. One and two the count. 2-1 to count on Lauren Hill. 2-1. 2-2. 2-2 on Lauren Hill. 2-2 pitch. There's a ground ball. Base hit there for Lauren Hill. The 10th hit of the game for Central Methodist. Here's Raylene Tanner. 1 for 2 with a single. If Central Methodist can get a run here, they can win on the 8-run rule. And that's Diana Linscott, the courtesy runner. So up the bat. The pitch is a strike, 0-1 to Raylan Tanner. There's a high fly ball in the center field. There's a base hit. Scott is thinking third, a throw. They got her. Tanner goes to second. So it's a single. And then takes second on the throw there. So now Carly Robbins is the batter. Looks like that's Cassidy Brent, the courtesy runner. Remember, had a game-winning hit against Central Baptist last Sunday. Of course, her dad, Thomas, is here. I just saw her dad. Robbins 1 for 2 with a single. Strike, 0-1 now. Oh and 1 the count. If Central Baptist get a run here, we can win it on the 8-run rule. And a good way to start off Quentin Norris's birthday. Fouls it off. 0-2 there. Oh and 2 now on Carly Robbins. Kalina Oots is on deck. The 0-2. Oh, outside. 1 and 2 there. Brent's a second, the courtesy runner for Raylan Tanner. Looks like another pinch hitter on there. High pop up. Center field calls for. Oh, she dropped it. Oh, my. Robbins is headed for second. And now headed for third there. So it's a double for Carly Robbins. So second and third now. That looks like Chelsea Gleba batting for the first time today. She is from Columbia, went to Battle High School. So 12 hits already for Central Methodist. So second and third. So Brent's at third. Robbins is second. Infield is in. Time called. Here's the pitch. There's a strike, 0-1 now. Casey Jolly is on deck, who has had 2 home runs already today. Today's attendance, 41,400. Millions are watching on television across the world, including my hometown of Slater, Missouri. 0-2 the count with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. 7-0 Central Methodist. The 0-2 fouls it off there into the Central Methodist dugout. If Central Methodist can get a win here, that'll be 16-2. Three in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Gleaver has a chance to end it. Here's the 0-2. Fouls it back, 0-2. 0-2 the count to Chelsea Gleba. Of course, second game to follow about 2:40. About Bay 2:45 or so. Even though it's scheduled for 3, but we may start early. The 1-2. 0-2, now it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Chelsea Goliba. Brent's at third, Robinson second. 2-2. 2-2 to count to Chelsea Gleba. 12 hits for Central Methodist. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call, so 2 outs now. Here is Casey Jolly. 2 for 3 with 2 homers, 2 RBI. Some of the most notable ones, the last player to hit 3 home runs in a World Series was Pablo Sandoval did in Game 1 of the 2012 World Series. Reggie Jackson hit 3 home runs on 3 pitches, off 3 pitchers, and put them in the seats in Game 6 of the 1977 World Series. Off of Bert Hooton, Elias Sosa, and, of course, Charlie Huff. 2 homers, 2 RBIs. Could we see history? Hitting 3 home runs. They may even try the old Raleigh Fingers play, where they tried the intentional walk, and then Raleigh Fingers threw a 3-2 pitch to strike out Johnny Bench. Did that in 1972. They're going to give her the 3 walk there to load the bases full of Eagles. For Elizabeth Palumbo, 1 for 2 with a triple. Three and 0 to count. And that's ball 4. Here's Elizabeth Palumbo, 1 for 2 with a triple. She can end it right here. 7-0 on 12 hits. Only 1 hit for St. Mary. And here's the pitch. That's a ball. 1-0 to count. Palumbo can end it right here. It leads the team in RBIs with 18. Now the home plate umpire wants an explanation to the St. Mary's coaches. Joe Kreider's on deck. The 1-0. Hits the ground ball to the shortstop. Throws over the first for the 3rd out. So no runs on 3 hits. No errors. 3 left. We head to the 6th. Central Methodist 7. St. Mary nothing. 7, 9, 12. Okay, 12. Seven runs, 12 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, a hit, and an error for St. Mary. Here is Natalie Bruce. She flew out to Carly Robbins, her first time up. 1-0 lead for Central Methodist. Bomb of the 6th inning. Huh? Right there. First pitch. Strike. 0-1 to count. Oh, yes. Here's a ground ball. Roberts to Palumbo in time. 1 out. Beautiful. There's Audrey Spellman, 0 for 2. Here's a ground ball. Hill has it, throws a Palumbo. Not in time. That's a base hit all the way. No question about it. Second hit of the game for St. Mary. There's Alexis McDaniel. 0 for 2 on the day. First pitch. Ball 1, 1-0 to count. One and zero to count. It's the ground ball to Roberts. They'll go to second for 1. That's all they can get. A fielder's choice. Jessica Strandland. First pitch. Strike, 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 fouls it off, 0-2. So far, I have about 300 people have already wished me a happy birthday. Actually, about... There goes the runner to throw. Not in time. A stolen base. 1-2 now. Actually, if you're counting all the people that came in that I saw earlier, you're looking at about 315 people that have already wished me a happy birthday so far. A swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors. And they leave 1. Bottom of the 6th. Central Methodist 7. And St. Mary nothing. Wait a minute. That was fielders. Just 1 hit. That's 1 hit there. That's right. That was that. 3, 7, 9, 12. Seven runs, 12 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. No runs, 2 hits, and an error for St. Mary. Here's Joe Kreider, 0 for 1. Walk, has sack fly in the 4th. What a job David Haley caught. A 2-hitter so far, but Central Methodist just needs 1 more run for the 8-run rule. The 1-0. 2-0 to count on Joe Kreider. Madison Roberts and Madison White. The 2-0. Strike. 2-1 now. 2 balls and a strike. 1-0, bottom of the 6th inning between Central Methodist and William Penn. 2-1. Hits a liner to center field, and it's caught right in front of the warning track. Hit that on the button there, and there's 1 out now for Madison Roberts. 1 for 3 with a single. Two. First pitch to Roberts. That is a strike call. 0-1 now. Madison White on deck. Strike. 0-2 now on Madison Roberts. The 0-2. Bit high. 1-2 now. 1-2 on deck is Madison White. One and two, and a liner base hit, the 13th hit of the game. 7, 9, 12, 13. 13 hits now. Here's Madison White. It looks like a courtesy runner. I think that's number 3. I believe that's Emily Sheffield. Here's White, 1 for 3. Single, 2 RBIs. Sheffield is from Wentzville. First pitch to White. That's a ball. 1-0 to Madison White. Lauren Hill on deck. The 1-0 pitch. There goes Sheffield. The throw. She's in there. Like Uncle Gary used to do when he was at the Padres. So Sheffield's at second. 1-1 to count. Sheffield is now the go-ahead run in the game. The 1-1. Ball 2 to Madison White. Lauren Hill is on deck with 2 singles. 2-0, 2-1 the count to Madison White. 3-1 now. Three and one to count. 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1. Ball 4. 3, 7, 9, 12, 13. Here's Lauren Hill. 2 for 3 with 2 singles. So now conference action there. 7-0 Central Methodist. Quentin Norris, the birthday boy, is in the catbird seat. So Lauren Hill, the batter. First pitch, ball 1. 1-0 to count to Lauren Hill. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. 2-0 on Lauren Hill. Say Raylan Towner's on deck. Huh? Bottom of the fifth. Bottom of the sixth inning. That's okay. 2-0 to count. 2-0 pitch. Lines a shot, and it's caught. Sheffield has to go back to second, and she makes it there. So 2 outs now. Boy, she came that close. Hit it right on the button there. Hit it right on the nose, and there's 2 outs now for Raylan Tanner. 2 for 3. 2 singles and an RBI. Tanner has 5 RBIs now. And it's 5 for 13 on the season. Sheffield's at second. White's at first. The pitch. There's a strike. 0-1. 0-1 now. The 0-1. Way up high. 1-1 now on Raylan Tanner. 1-1 to count. 2 outs in the 6th. 7-0 Central Methodist. The 1-1. Strike. 1-2. 1-2 to count to Raylan Tanner. 1-2. Way outside. 2-2. Carly Robbins is on deck. 2-2 to count to Raylan Tanner. 2-2 pitch. It's a high pop-up. Let's see who calls for it. And it's dropped in. Sheffield scores the go-ahead run, and that's the ball game. 3 hits already, and Central Methodist wins it 8-0. So 8 runs. 3, 7, 9, 12, 14 hits and error. St. Mary's, no runs, 2 hits and error. So Central Methodist with the victory. They are now 16-2, 11-10 for St. Mary. We will have game number 2 for you to follow in about 25 minutes or so. This is Quentin Norris saying so long, and that's 7,300.